Reverend Mihan Lee, District Superintendent of the North Central District, present the annual apportionment check for $200,000 to Dr. Joe Parisi, Vice President for Enrollment Management and Athletics. The Missouri Conference of the United Methodist Church awards these dollars every year to support the mission of Central Methodist University and in support of our unique relationship between the university and the conference. Thank you to all the United Methodist Churches in the Missouri Conference for your support of Central Methodist University through your apportionment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Davis Field. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for a prayer to be followed by the playing of our national anthem. Giving today's prayer is the Reverend Mihan Lee, District Superintendent of the North Central District of the Missouri United Methodist Conference. We celebrate this day of the North Central District kickoff event, recognizing that Central Methodist is a part of this new and growing district. Reverend Lee?
Let's pray. Gracious God, we give you thanks for this beautiful and exciting day as we celebrate being a community with the football players, coaches, athletic staff, students, alumni, parents, family, friends, school staff, and the Missouri Annual Conference family and friends. As the game is about to start, we ask for your blessings on the game and on each player. Help the players do their best with passion, energy, and sportsmanship. Give all of us your grace to accept success or defeat, and let us glorify you. Be with us with your presence in this game, and we pray in Jesus' name, and all we say, amen.
And now if you'd please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem by the Central Methodist University Marching Band.
All right. Let's see. Where are we getting? Yeah, we're getting some. I just don't have a headset. That's my problem. You got to be smarter than what you're working with. All right, now I can hear in the background. Welcome to Davis Fieldhouse. This is Charlie Brown, along with Steve Lujan today. Get rid of that background noise going on. We are here for Clarke, the Clarke Pride in town to take on the Eagles today at Davis Field. Each team comes in, or Clarke comes in with a record of 1-1. Central comes in 0-2 on the season. I am joined by Hairston Hall of Famer, All-American tight end Steve Lujan. Steve, welcome to the broadcast. An honor to have you with us today.
Thank you, Charlie. It's my first time doing a gig like this, but I'm excited to be back in Fayette and on the grounds of Central Methodist, where I spent 4 really special years, and it's going to be fun.
What years were you here, Stephen?
I started 75 and graduated in 79. Last football time was in 78. When we played, and I went to Fayette High School, so it was quite a dream for a small town boy from Fayette to be able to play NAIA college football.
and play it well. You did, as we have documented. You were an All-American in 19 what?
That was 1978, and we had a host of really good skilled players: Dale Mason and Gene Williams, Eric Trells, and of course the All-American, the quarterback who was really good, is Tom Stein.
I have had a couple of message conversations with Tom Stein, and he has asked for the link today. He says he's going to tune in and listen because you're on the air.
Well, Tom, if you're listening, those memories are coming back, and of course we threw the ball around the yard, and Tom was just a phenomenal player. Had a great sense and a great touch about the football game, and we had Gene Williams and Eric Trells and Dale Mason and myself and Tom spread the ball around to all of us, and it was really a really special time, and we set a lot of records at that time. And in '78, not a whole lot of people were throwing the football like we did, and now it's all over the country.
Yeah, we were commenting on our last broadcast that Coach Bill Holmes was a protege of Don Coryell.
Absolutely.
Eric Coryell came to the Midwest early.
That's it. He went out there and spent 2 weeks. Of course, they had Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow and a host of those receivers, so he brought that package back to mid-Missouri and a small college, and we did pretty well.
Yes, you did. And in 2 weeks, next home game here, Eric Trells is going to join me as doing the broadcast.
Eric was just inducted in the Harrison Hall of Fame, and
he is an NAIA record holder that will never be broken. He and Tom Stein combined on a 99-yard touchdown pass, and I'm trying to convince Tom to come up with Eric to the ball game and have them both in the booth talk about it, because the team they threw that pass against was Culver Stockton, and that's who they played the day that Eric is coming to do the game. And we have a clip of the pass and catch and run that we're going to be able to show during the ball game.
That's excellent. Eric had tremendous speed. He didn't look fast, but he was fast, and he can motor and had great hands.
Clarke won the toss and has deferred to the second half. So we're going to switch sides. They're going to switch directions. And if Clarke deferred, I got to think Central's getting the football.
Be nice for us to jump out and get a score early in the game, get a little momentum.
Their offense has struggled mightily, but when you graduate your quarterback leaves, none of your running backs are returning, none of your wide receivers are returning. You have an offensive line. It's kind of piece it together and figure out where to go, and that's been a struggle the first two ball games for the Eagles. We're not going to sugarcoat it. They have yet to score a point this year.
The transfer portal is affecting all the colleges, big and small, and I don't know that I really like it, but it is what it is. And whenever you lose your quarterback, then there's going to be growing pains as well as your wide receivers. So,
and he was a freshman. You're looking at him for 3 more years, and he moves on to a D1 school, which you can't blame him for wanting. He came from a D1 school, came here, got his numbers, got his D1 back to where he wanted to go. So it is what it is. This is good. I don't know about you, Stephen, but the uniforms that both teams are wearing are a nightmare for an announcer. Black uniforms, green numbers with white trim on them, which helps a little bit. Clarke, on the other hand, white uniforms, and they've got gold numbers on them, which are just going to be harder than anything to try and figure out. So we will do what we can with it.
It's a warm day, Charlie.
It is. It's not as bad as it was last week. Last time we were here, it was about 90 plus then. So we're inside. They're trying to pump a little air. They thought about air conditioning the press box, but for my end of it, I'm here for 5 games this year, so it's not really worth the money that you're going to spend. And we are underway. Back inside the 5, going to go into the end zone barely. The official says yes, it did, but it bounced and it barely made it in and came back out, which makes it a dead ball. So we'll see the CMU offense come to the field now, and we've got a new little thing that we want to put up, a graphic of their of the starters. we can get it pumped up there real quick. There we go. So you can see everybody. You can see the starters. We've got their pictures up there. So well, maybe it doesn't work. Well, technology's great when it works. Matt Luna is the quarterback. Hunter Hogue, the running back. There goes the flag. Pass is going to be intercepted, but it's a moot point as I think Clarke was offside. Going to be returned all the way to the end zone, but we got a flag on the far side, and I think we're going to have encroachment, and it's all coming back.
Started out very aggressive with that deep ball. 3 wide, single back.
And the quarterbacks, Luna on the season coming into today is 4 of 21 for 19%, 47 total yards. And there is the penalty against Clarke that negates the pass. And the quarterback, Luna, knew that they had jumped offside, so he took a shot down the field knowing that it wasn't going to cost him anything if something bad happened, which it did. But so it's 1st and 5 now from the 30-yard line. Hogue, the running back. Motion, 2 receivers bottom of the screen to the right, 1 up on the top. Handoff in the middle of the line, not going anywhere. So it'll be 2nd down and 5.
They're running the zone read. Quarterback's gonna either give it to the running back to the right side, or he's going to read the backside defensive end, keep it, and run.
And looking at our stats, I will tell you that Matt Luna is the leading rusher for the Eagles on the season with 34 yards. That's when your quarterback is your leading rusher, he's either a really good athlete getting out and going, or you're being stuffed at the line of scrimmage on a lot of occasions. So now 2nd down and 5 after the no gain. Luna looks, throws outside.
Very nicely done. Thrown on time. Ball was released before the receiver turned. Nice protection.
Yeah, you got to go quick if your line's having trouble. And this is a veteran offensive line. Most of those are starting or returning players from last year. So they're just the problem is no running game, no passing game. The defense just tees off and comes after you, but that's good enough for a 1st down. Gain of 11 on the play. Handoff up the middle. Going to pick up a yard or 2 on the play. That's Hogue. Hunter Hogue, 10 rushes for 7 yards on the season. So, again, the numbers are anemic. They just haven't been able to, they haven't clicked yet on any level, not the passing game or the running game.
Clarke stacking the box with a 4 defensive line, 2 linebackers.
Yeah, until Central proves they can throw the ball down the field, this is what you see almost everybody do against Central right now. Short pass, incomplete. Intended for Keon Bass, incomplete. 3rd down and 9 for the Eagles. Their punter's got a lot of work this year. I think he's already punted 17 times in 2 games. Third and long from the 42-yard line. Back resets, 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Luna, back, looks, flushed, steps up, throws short. Caught and dropped. Be an incomplete pass, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Nice protection. The quarterback escaped right up the middle, which is what you want.
So it'll be 4th down, and that will bring in Evan Workman to punt. He's averaging a little over 30.4, but that includes 1 that was blocked in the end zone and recovered for a touchdown. Back deep, number 1, Kenneth Spate for Clarke. He is a free safety. He's also the return man on kickoffs and on punts. 10 on the line of scrimmage, no big rush. Workman gets it away. Fair catch call for. runs into his own player. That might be a live ball. Central's gone it. Let's see what they say. They say it's Eagle ball. I thought his own man kind of bumped into him. He might have got knocked into him, but it was a Clarke player that ran into the Clarke returner, and the ball is fumbled. And that might have been Kamel that came up with the fumble recover.
Important to get some momentum going here with a big turnover at the 30-yard line.
And Stephen pointed out to me before the ball game that the Clarke players assembled on the Eagle logo at midfield and maybe were a little disrespectful. So it'd be nice to see the Eagles get on top.
Might be a good time to do a little play action passing, boot him out and roll it.
It's up the middle. It's going to pick up a yard, maybe two. That's Terrell Aldridge in at running back now. So 2nd and 9. Field goal kicker, extra point kicker has had no work this year at all. Haven't had a try on either occasion, so a few more yards, and maybe that can happen. There's a pass, knocked down, a big hit, and it's incomplete, and it'll be 3rd down and long.
The offensive line is really doing a nice job of protection.
Like I say, that's those are the big boys. That's Karam, Cortez, Marshall, Byers, and Allred. Those are almost all returning players from last year on a very successful team. So 3rd and long. Luna. Lots of motion back and forth. We end up with 3 at the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom. There's the design quarterback draw. Luna inside close to the 1st down at the 20. We'll see where they mark him.
Well-designed football play.
Again, he's their leading rusher. And they're going to call it a 1st down, so 1st and 10 at the 20. The muffed punt has come into play big time for the Eagles early on as they get ready, try and tack some points on the board. I'm sure they're tired of looking at the stats that have a 0 up there. Bass resets to the other side. Luna keeps it again. Tries to get outside, gets down before he gets hit. Going to pick up maybe 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8. Bright sunshine. The fumble recovery goes to Davion Stockard, and that's 9. I thought maybe it was Kamel 0, but Stockard forced the fumble and recovered it. He is the leading tackler on the defense. 2nd down, and they've marked it back now. It's 2nd and 9. Handoff. Fighting forward, picking up about 3 yards or so on the play. Kelton Whitehead, as Coach Galloway is looking for a back. That's the 3rd different one that's carried the ball, plus the quarterback so far in the ball game. It looks like it's 3rd down and 7.
Look for a play action pass off the zone read.
Run everybody out a little bit and maybe make some space for the quarterback.
Get him out of the pocket.
A lot of room to roll right since he's right-handed. One back next to him. Drops, looks, throws it. Nice break on the ball, and I think it's intercepted. As the defender made a nice break on the ball and comes up with it. They didn't have, but I think they only had one turnover on the year. Joel Gonzalez with the interception and the first turnover for the Eagles. Clarke will have the ball back inside the 5-yard line.
just not doing, not.
As long as that.
That one is moving. I've got it on there. It's just the screen back home.
Deadwater on the reception for Pride. Clarke down at the 12-yard line. 8 of 9 on the play. Second down, 1. All of the 12. Go defense!
So gain of 9. I'm working on the equipment. You're getting text messages that the starting lineup is still up on the screen and things are in the way, so we're trying to fix that. It was a gain of 9. Gets them out of trouble immediately. Handoff coming this way out to the 16, 17-yard line. Give you some of the Clarke starters for you. Their quarterback is Brandon Miller. 52 of 80 on the season, 65%, 628 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
It's always important for an offense to establish a nice running game, because that always sets up play action pass.
Well, they like to pass. They throw it about 40 times a game. That one's high and outside, incomplete.
Just don't see a whole lot of teams huddle anymore, Charlie. Everything's signaled in, saves time. Communication is very important when you don't huddle. Everyone gets to play.
Everybody likes to play fast these days.
Everybody
Don't
likes
they,
to
Steve?
play. Yes, they do.
Game clock play clock at 5. Outside pass.
That's a fumble.
It could have been called a lateral, but they say no. We are at the mercy of the sun right now. Can't really tell you how much time is on the scoreboard. Steven might be able to do that. 6:00 something.
6:05.
6:05, and it will be 3rd down and 10 for the Pride from their own 17-yard line. There is legend. Yeah. Larry Anderson coming by. So 4th down and about 8 on the play, and bring on the punting team. This is usually the quarterback, Mueller, so you got to keep an eye on him to not throw out of this formation. Gets it away, end over end. Caught, fair catch back near the 40-yard line.
We certainly have won the field position so far. Defense came up with a big stop.
The fumble punt turned things around a lot. See if the Eagles can sustain a little more offense as we go along. You got 3 in a bunch, bottom right. 1 at the top, 1 running back with Luna in the backfield. Move 1 from the bottom, so we got 2 wide receivers either side. Wide running back sets to this side. Flush, steps up, slides, gets hit. Where's the flag? There is not one.
Great coverage downfield by Clarke University. Looks like they're in the 2 deep. The 2 deep players play half of the field. Cornerbacks are going to take the flat area away.
2nd and 8. Handoff goes nowhere. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. We are having some technical issues, which the heat does that to our equipment every single time. We've got our computer sitting on a gamer's laptop cooler, and that's not doing enough work. So it's 3rd down and 8. Luna, time, looks, throws, almost picked off, almost caught, almost picked off, but it goes incomplete. Adrian Tamayo almost came up with it, and it'll be 4th down. And Workman back in to kick again. Spate standing at his own 25. See if he can handle this one without being jostled by one of his own players. Snaps good, kicks away, hangs up, and he makes the catch around the 30-yard line, and Clarke back to the offense again. Again, like I say, Clarke throws the ball, averages 40 passes per ball game. Rushing yards are not impressive. They have 171 total yards in 2 ball games, so they get about 85 yards rushing per ball game and 319 yards passing per ball game. So they're about 450 yards of offense. So Mueller back out. Hard snap, doesn't move anybody. Everybody stands up, looks to the sideline. Reset the back. Hand it to him. Out across the 30 to close to 35, maybe the 36.
Not a very tall and big fella, but he's got some nice quicks to him, doesn't he?
He does, and I'm waiting to find out, looking to see who that is.
He's got some nice shake to him once he gets the ball. I imagine he's pretty hard to see behind that big offensive line
Well,
that
I'm going to
Clarke
guess,
has.
based on his size, that's Sean Caesar. He's listed at 5'7".
5'7". There.
Shake and roll this way, throw outside, caught, and out of bounds. That is Caden Miller on the catch.
Establish the run, fake the run, get the quarterback outside the pocket, run a little boot. Nice timing route.
So Art says he's number 20, but he's actually number 2. That's Caden Miller. .5'11" sophomore. They have a lot of sophomores on this team. Mueller, outside it goes. That's the running back again. Caesar.
Central Methodist is in a 5 front, 3 down linemen, 2 inside linebackers.
Gain of about 5, be 2nd down and 5. In Eagle territory now.
Haven't seen a whole lot of pressure out of Central's defense.
They do not have a sack this year.
They're kind of a bend and break. I look for them to bring some pressure if they continue throwing the ball against them so well. And there's pressure off the edge with the strong safety. Nicely done. They got to get the sack.
Throws it to nobody in particular, but since he threw it beyond the line of scrimmage, there's no, and out of the tackle box, no intentional grounding call, so it'll be 3rd down.
Great pressure from the right side.
And I can tell you just from the hairstyle, that's Joe Slattery from Texas, number 16. Got the hair hanging out over part of his number, but he came here originally as a quarterback, I believe, and now he is a defensive player. He's in the slot against the slot receiver. 3rd and 5. 15 on the play clock. Plenty of time as they look across the field. Mueller looks deep.
3-man rush.
Waits, fires it. Post pattern too high, too far. And incomplete. Looking for flags, don't see any. Player down on the ground for Clarke. One of their offensive linemen is down in the middle of the logo. So it'll be 4th down and 5.
Real nice coverage by Central secondary. Playing a 3 deep.
Leading tacklers for the Eagles, Davion Stockard, he is their middle linebacker. He has 22 total tackles on the year. 49, Cameron Essick, he is a lineman. He's got 15, and Mui Camel has 14. So two of your linebackers are two of your 3 top tacklers on the team, which is not unusual.
0-0, first quarter in, Charlie. We've got to get something rolling here offensively.
Well, the Eagles have got to feel good about that because the first game they played against Grandview here, it was like 21-0 in the first quarter. Grandview, the number 2 team in the nation, and they showed Central why.
You know, Coach Holmes just absolutely loved playing bigger schools. I remember Central State, Arkansas came down and beat us 79-3 in 1976. Played Arkansas Tech, went to Central State, Ohio, University of Missouri, Rolla, when they had their heyday years.
Wasn't there a year they went down and played somebody down in Louisiana that was a big school? But, yeah, and we've talked about Coach Holmes before. He was so far ahead of his time with his strategy of how he did it. And I laugh and say, Central would have the ball first and goal, and he would take a penalty to back up so you had a little more room to throw the football around.
We were running empty back, everything that they're doing now.
You were doing in 1979.
Well, he brought it to the Central in 1977. It was the first year that we started. And we were going no huddle. A lot of screens. And then we had Dale Mason who could run. He was so elusive that it made our passing game because they had to honor both. When you got to honor the run and the pass, it just puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
Dale Mason, Mace, and Gene Williams, and Bill Gosnell all came here from Kansas City together, the 3 of them, and they spent 4 years together playing football and baseball. They were on baseball teams that I was on as I was finishing up my career here. Punt gets away, held up by the wind. It's going to land and take a bounce and go down. It'll help his stats because it's going to roll inside the 20, and they're going to let it stop about the 19-yard line. Mueller is the punter. He averages 39.4 on the season, but he was against the wind there, and it held up his punt. Eagles with field position about where they were when they started. They started at the 25 because the ball went in the end zone to start the ball game. So this is the worst field position they've had for a while. Aldridge back as the tailback, the one running back. Luna, motion. Hand off to Aldridge. Going to get a yard or 2 out of it, maybe 1. Looks like it'll be 2nd down and 9. The longer the string goes without scoring, the harder it becomes to score.
It is. It just weighs on you, and you just hope for a big play, get something deep, shake it loose, and get it in the end zone. That changes the whole complexion of the football game.
Right now, you take a tip pass or a defender falling down, something Luna across the middle, caught at about the 24-yard line.
They're playing a combination in the secondary. Their cornerbacks are playing man. Everyone else is playing zone. Four-man front. Very aggressive.
3rd and 5 as they look to the sideline. Going to empty the backfield out. Luna looking for a confirmation that he's got it correct. 10 on the play clock. Aldridge resets back to the right of Luna. Drops. Looks. Throws the ball deep.
That's the long ball right there thrown out of bounds. Clarke brought 5 on the pressure. Man coverage. by the corners.
That pass was intended for Aaron Edwards. And it'll be 4th down.
You know, we were talking about Tom Stein earlier. What a great thrower he was and football player. Even back when I was a ball boy at Central, they had a guy named Jim Stamos, and he was a thrower. They called him Church Street Joe, 68, 69, and he was smooth throwing the ball to Charlie Johnson. Loved watching those games.
Nice punt. Spate has to back up to his own 37 to get it.
That's a block in the back.
Yep, there's a flag, 2 flags down around the 42-yard line, so wherever it ends up doesn't make any difference. It's coming back, and it'll end up back inside the 30-yard line for where Clarke will start. Tom Stein also played a year of baseball with us. Did some pitching, hard to believe. Had a natural slider because he threw it like a football. Played some first base. Remember a ball game where he was playing first base and tough pop-up foul territory, and he had to traverse over first base and foul territory, and it ended up falling, and somebody in the dugout said, "This is not the Heart of America Football League, and you can't throw it here." So
Tom graduated and ended up being a firefighter in St. Louis. Had a great career. Thank you for your service, Tom.
Absolutely, and I hope there's a way that he can find his way up here to help out in 2 weeks when Eric Trells is here to help out with the ball game, because they were a pair. Tom threw the ball to Eric quite a bit. They're going to stop at the 34-yard line, mark it there. I seem to remember that Tom threw the ball for more than 500 yards a couple of times in a couple of weeks.
Tarkio would have been one of those games.
There comes another flag. I'm pretty sure that he made, like, Sporting News, had 572 yards, and it was an NAIA record at that time. And then about 2 or 3 weeks later, he threw for 575 and broke his own record.
Absolutely.
Those games lasted about 4 hours. We had no lights here, and it was getting dusk.
You know, Charlie, they even brought up cars and put them on top
the side of the hill.
And they're going to turn them on because it was getting dark.
Yeah.
You know, when you get into late October.
Yeah, and you're 50 of 73 passing the ball.
That was quite a deal.
Long ball out here on the sides. Got the corner beat, but it's underthrown, and I think it's picked off.
That was just a great job. They had the receiver bracketed. They had one over the top and then one underneath. The receiver didn't have a chance. Who was the underneath player? Can you tell?
I'm looking to see the number. I think it's 5, and that's Eric Mays, I believe. He would be a corner that would have been the one underneath getting the ball.
That was outstanding. And, of course, in college you got to have 2 feet in, so he did a wonderful job. We were partially blocked by the sideline.
Yeah, the canopy down there to provide a little bit of shade to the linemen when they come off. But a turnover. Second one of the ball game for Clarke. See if Central, they pick up a lot of room here because they had it at the 19 earlier, and now they've got it at the 36 to start this drive, so that's plus 15. Luna still the quarterback. Back to pass off the fake, throws down the middle, caught. That's Aaron Edwards, I believe, with the catch.
Great poise for Luna.
Well, a little confidence coming now.
Absolutely. He had great poise in the pocket, stood in there tough, took a hit after he threw it. I like that they're attacking in the middle of the field. A lot of their balls have been to the sideline, outside the hash. That was very well done. 4-man rush. They bring pressure.
Taken down. Griffin Mulcahy with the grab and tackle. Loss of 2, 3, second and 13.
Their nose tackle is a very large individual, Charlie.
He is. I'm trying to figure out what number that is, but I don't think it makes any difference.
63. He is a big Bubba, as we would call them.
63 on defense is Ron Jones, 5'7", 340.
He is a big Bubba, and he's got nice quickness, uses his hands, miscommunication with the receiver in the queue.
Yep, Edwards was still looking for space to get open as the ball was thrown, so it'll be 3rd down and 13. Ball in Pride territory at the 44-yard line. If they can pick up a chunk of this, they may go for it on 4th down. But they've got 13 to go, so.
Be a nice time to throw a screen. They've been bringing 5. Clarke's been bringing 5, 6.
Steps out, but he's going to be sacked on the play. Tenavious Shropshire, I believe, gets the.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah,
real fast.
I can't do that. I had to work slow to get through it the first time.
Oh, it's so good to be back. A lot of great memories. Got a great education.
Field didn't quite look like this.
No.
I was talking with Nate Breland, the baseball coach here. I was here on Thursday doing some work, and I was talking to him, and he's getting punts away, fair catch by Spate, and he'll take it down there. He's getting a brand new turf field down the baseball field. Softball field's being turfed as well. He was in a really good mood, and I said, you should have seen it when I came here. And he said, what did it look like? And I said, well, there was a hill in left field. You had to go up the hill? I said, yeah, Taos Hill the Astros had. We had one in left field. You had to back up to the fence. That was the only fence here. There was a road out there that you drove around to come in. It was in play. You would, if somebody was a big power hitter, you could just go out and stand by the road and dare them to hit it over your head, because if it was in the creek, it was going to be a home run. But I said, there's a lot of things that have changed for the better, and that has gone on in all things here. And your dad had a lot to do with that.
And we never thought a thing about it. We played with no grass, dirt field.
Mueller flush, going to take off. Got room to run, going to step out of bounds before somebody hits him.
Speaking of the good doctor, Charlie.
Yes.
Dad turns 90 years old on Monday.
That's amazing.
And he's still spry and ornery as ever, sharp as a tack.
Ornery as ever. I never knew that man to be anything but nice. He impacted so many lives here. There's so many people. That's why his golf tournament is always a success. People want to come back and say thank you to him. So what a great man, Doc Lugin. Outside pass. Read very nicely. That's Kamel with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Kamel with the stop. I think that was Caesar with the carry. 2nd down and 8.
5-man rush.
Going to force some action out of him, and they're going to get their first sack of the season.
That was well designed. They brought the strong safety off the left edge, linebacker through the A-gap, 3-man rush. Very nicely done.
We get to say the name again. Kamel with part of that sack. He'll get credit for at least half of it. And it makes it 3rd down and 13. 1 back, 3 to the bottom. Eagles shift a little bit this way. 1 to the top, 3-man. Everybody standing up and just deciding who's going to go. No pressure at all on Mueller. Flush now looks right. Going to be tackled, hit, knocked down. Nolan Cobbs Jr., one of those involved in the tackle.
If you only bring 3 with the rush, then you're going to have to play real good coverage in the secondary, especially with a team that throws as much as Clarke does. And they did a beautiful job that time.
Central graduated almost all of their down linemen and linebackers off of last year's team. And it shows 2 of those young men were in a pro football camp this year that made it. One signed as a free agent with the Arizona Cardinals, and the other one was up in the Canadian Football League.
That's a wonderful recruiting tool as they go out on the road each fall and winter.
Punts away, little rugby-style kick. It bounces at the 30, checks up like one of my golf shots. It doesn't go where it's supposed to. And it rolls out of bounds. And it'll be first down for the Eagles there. Let me see if I can pull some numbers for you real quick. Where total yards? 56 for Clarke, 48 for Central, so not a high-scoring or high-yardage deal. When Grandview was here 2 weeks ago, they had 299 yards of offense at halftime.
Makes for a long day.
It made for
especially if you're a defense coordinator.
Yeah, and you're on the field all day long. I mean, you can't catch a break. Central's defense held on a 4th and goal, and the offense threw an interception, and they were back down and goal again. Luna out to about the 37-yard line. Nice move, nice play there. That'll get some yardage and make second down a little easier play as he picks up 8 on the play. Second down and 2.
Nice job on the zone read. Good play fake. Kept the ball, and he runs vertical.
Right guard 68, Trent Byers, is the active vocal leader of this offensive line back from last year. Second down and 2. Back resets to the right now of Luna, goes in motion. Throws it across the middle, almost to midfield.
Nice quick slant. Ball was thrown on time. Found the soft spot in the zone coverage.
That was 82, Andrew Quezada. That's his 6th catch of the season. First down, short of midfield. Handoff. Trying to get outside, not being able to do it. Hogue on the carry, loses about 3 on the play. We'll have the Eagle Marching Band performance at halftime for you, and we'll have stats for that as well after that gets finished. Sunny day. We've got a nice big crowd here as it's Methodist Conference Week, so a lot of those dignitaries have come to the ball game as well. Second and 13. Luna directing traffic. 3 on the play clock. Gets it off. Outside pass incomplete.
Central has begun to protect with the running back also off the edge. Give them 6 blockers for the pass.
Pass was intended for Keon Bass. He is their tight end.
A little bit off the mark with that.
Third down and 13. Luna steps back. Nice protection, but it's almost intercepted in and out of the hands.
I'm a little surprised that they went for that on 4th.
Oh, that's 4th now. That was the third down play.
That was the third down play?
Yep.
Very good.
So Workman back to punt again. Spate standing at the 25, trying to figure out exactly where he could go. 10-man on the line. Some will rush, some will peel. Snap bounces, but played by Workman. Gets it away. Bounces. Spate's going to take it around the 10-yard line. Step out of bounds. Nice play, as that probably saves them about 6 or 7 yards of ground that they would have lost if that had bounced and rolled one more time. So Clarke back to the offense. Where I can tell you that Brandon Mueller, the quarterback, 5 of 10 for 34 yards and an interception. He's also the leading rusher with 12 yards right now. So the Eagle defense has done its part here today in holding Clarke down. Ball on the 15-yard line.
First down 10, Fort Pride. Ball at the Pride 15.
Mueller, one back behind him, sends motion, stops, resets. Hit by a host of Eagle tacklers, and I learned that from Jim Ray Clarke, that a host of Eagle tacklers, that's called a convocation. Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. And there's a quarterback clapping his hands, trying to get the defense offside, gets his right guard to move, and so it'll be 2nd down and 17 now. So off penalty.
How about time for a turnover?
I'd take
Charlie?
another one. Yeah, I'd take a pick 6.
It's going to be a low-scoring ball game.
Did a game last night. The first one to 60 was going to win. They got to 59. They won 59-58. I think first one to 17 or even 14 might win this one. 10 might be enough. So now 2nd down, 17. Mueller in the gun. And we'll have a timeout called, I believe. And Clarke will take it. So we'll just continue to talk about things from the past. Stephen was here while his 79 season, I graduated 78, so I was still around. I got a job here in Fayette after that, so I was able to come to the ball games and watch and see the Tom Stein show that went on every week, and Stephen running across the middle, catching passes and getting yards.
You know, it's nice. I keep up with a lot of those players that played during those times, and it's fun to see their families and come back for homecoming, and a lot of the basketball players. What's so neat is there are so many of us that ended up marrying Central Methodist girls, and we all have something in common. Beth comes down with me to homecoming, and we visit with all her friends and sorority sisters, and it's just a wonderful town and wonderful school.
2nd and 17. Mueller going to turn and hand it off. No, he's not. Yes, he did. And it's going to get out to about the 15. Back to the original line of scrimmage plus maybe 1, so it'll be 3rd and 9. They stop it, make it 3rd and 10, right at the line of scrimmage. Another player down. I will put out, for those of you who are listening that played baseball at Central Methodist in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s, Central, I talked to Nate Breland, the baseball coach. Central is going to come up with and name an all-decade team for the 60s, for the 70s, for the 80s, and for the 90s. And for most of those times, there are no records, and there's only a few of us old goats still alive that can think about it. So if you know of somebody that needs to be nominated for one of those teams, just let me know. Find me on Facebook, Charlie Brown. Find me on Facebook, send me a message, tell me something, as we would love to be able to. I have some knowledge about the 70s and 80s, but that's about it. We don't really have any knowledge of anybody from the 60s, the early 70s, or the early 80s. So if you have knowledge of stuff like that, please let me know, because they would like to put something together and have a ceremony in the spring at one of the baseball games for those teams. So if you know somebody, let me know. 3rd and 10. Now Mueller looks, flushed, going to run. He's going to get the first down and then some and get out of bounds. He has nice escapability.
He does, and he's got nice length, and when you watch him run, he's very smooth, great cuts, ran out of bounds, saved a timeout. They've got 2 timeouts left.
Mueller, 6'1", 200-pound junior. And there's whistle blows, and let me look and see. He is from Lindenhurst, Illinois. So a timeout on the field.
And how about Jeff Sherman being named the athletic director?
And I know that Jeff really wanted to go one more year and get 40 years as the head basketball coach, but there's going to be a Sherman in that 40th year. His son Matt will take over the program as Jeff moves up to be athletic director.
Part of the family. He, I believe he came from Colorado.
He did.
A tremendous athlete. I think he was a state champion in the 100-meter, maybe the 200-meter. Part of the CMU family, and you know what a legacy that he's left, and then to be able to leave it to your son, that's everyone's dream.
Yeah, and Matt hasn't said it, but I don't know exactly how he feels about having Dad look over his shoulder. But I don't think Jeff's going to say too much to Matt about any of it. They're just happy to be able to pass it along inside the family and continue on, have continuity with the system. And players who were here, most of them are back. So they did lose some Paul players. But as you mentioned earlier, the transfer portal has just made it brutal to keep players. Across the middle, tipped, off the hands and incomplete.
You know, and I look at the transfer portal, Charlie, and as a fan, you know, you like to follow a player, an athlete, for 4 years. Get to know them. Get them ingrained in the community. Get them ingrained in the school. And that's just gone by the wayside.
It has. It'd be disgruntled about anything, playing time, coach, being spoken to, get in the portal and go somewhere. Mueller on the roll, throws, and I think it's caught. It is, and it'll be enough for a first down. Deadweiler with the catch. Gabe Detweiler, his 20th reception. He came into the game with 19 as their leading receiver. 4 minutes and something to go on the clock. Sun bleaching it out, hard to see. Back to pass, steps up, throws across the middle, caught, taken down.
I look for Central to start bringing pressure again. They had quite a bit of success bringing 5 and 6, 2 off the edge, 3 up the middle. This series they've stayed in a 3 down front, no pressure, and Clarke seems to be taking advantage of it.
Eric Mays on the tackle. It's 1st and 10, inside Eagle territory, 39-yard line.
Man coverage by the corners, 3 deep zone.
Mueller looks, gets flushed. They get away with a hold. He's going to take a hit and go down, but he's going to pick up more yardage. Down about the 33, maybe the 32. Gain of about 7, so it'll be 2nd down and 3 as they march the ball down the field, as now they're throwing the ball on a more regular basis. 8 of 14 for Mueller. They throw it 40 times. He's thrown it 14 with just a couple of minutes left in the first half. Steps up and throws to the corner. There's a flag in the middle of the field.
Very time-consuming drive that they're on right now. Short passes, quarterback scramble, 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. Great field position.
Ball game I did last night, which was Boonville High School at Hallsville High School. Coach Holmes' name came up last night, and so did a few other things. But near the end of the ball game, Hallsville had a two-point lead, had the ball, no timeouts left, with about 1 minute and 15. And I said, do you think Boonville gives up a touchdown here to try and get the ball back? Because they'd only be down 8 if they didn't. And that's exactly what happened. And Boonville got the ball back and scored with 11 seconds, got the 2-point conversion, and sent it to overtime. And we were talking about not having seen that too many times before, but it's happened. Mueller with the hand clap and the gyrations. I thought the head bob was a bad thing. Tackle lost his mouthpiece, has to get it back up in his mouth and get ready to go. 8 on the play clock. Outside, little screen down the sideline. Knocked out of bounds eventually. Mel with the stop. They have to get to the 12, so it's 2nd down and 4. And a timeout called. When did your father retire as athletic director here, Steve?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that question. Oh, my goodness.
He was here for quite a while as instructor, teacher, professor, coach. Did he ever coach here?
Yes, he did. He started in 1967 and as a basketball coach and professor. His first recruiting class, Charlie, is so special to him. And every year, the night before the golf tournament, the Lugeon Golf Tournament, Randy Hubbard, bless his heart, hosts all of the Central alumni basketball players that want to come, and Randy Hubbard and C.E. Moan and Frank McKenzie, who ended up coaching me at Fayette High School, Don Brashear, Larry Klickner, and it's just, I go and pick that up, and it's just such a wonderful time and such a special group as when he started in 1967. And we keep up with each other to this day. They're very good about calling him and going to visit him. And
Mueller looks corner. Now comes back to the right side, flips it too high and falls incomplete.
I believe he retired in the mid-'90s, Charlie. 94, 95, somewhere in that neighborhood. He was very instrumental in the planning and the fundraising for the rec center that housed the indoor pool, 2 racquetball courts, tennis
Central's
courts.
comes up with the ball.
What a
Looked like dual possession, but firing out of the pack there with the football is an Eagle player.
That's great timing.
I was just looking at speaking of time of possession, Central 15:38, Clarke 8:17 altogether. So Central has dominated that part of it. And they turn Clarke away on Clarke's best drive of the day with an interception.
So if you're the offensive coordinator, Charlie, you got 1:56 left. You've got 1 timeout. What do?
I think you see what happens off of first down. If you get some plus yardage and you pick up 10, 15 yards, then maybe you look to get the ball down the field. If you lose 2 or 3 yards, I think you're looking to run the clock out. And
2 timeouts by Clarke.
So they could stop it twice and get the ball back without a first down. Handoff.
Jet sweep. Nicely done. Go.
Out to the 20-yard line.
Got the ball on the perimeter outside the tackles with a jet sweep.
They're in a hurry up. That's +8, so that's good. They're calling it 10 altogether and going to make it first down. That gets them out of the shadow of the goal post a little bit. Now see what they want to do. Empty backfield. Short pass. Almost dropped. He's dropped. Pass goes to number 81, Cooper Tillman. Sophomore from Pea Ridge, Arkansas. Pickup of about 3, 2nd down 7. Another short pass out in the flat.
Get out of bounds.
And they pick up the first down, so the clock will stop while they reset the chains. Hunter Hogue with the catch and run. So they're out from inside their own 10-yard line. Under a minute to go now. Couple more passes and see if they can get into range. They've got the wind behind them. Luna flushed.
Go deep.
Directing traffic, throws it deep, and the only one back there is a Clarke defender. Joel Gonzalez was the closest player to that pass, and he's in the white uniform for Clarke. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Clarke stops the clock on the incompletion. Evan Workman, his punter, is also their place kicker. Replaces the secret weapon that they've had here before. And Sam Petrie punted and kicked and was special teams player of the week in the Heart a lot of times. Pass incomplete to Quezada. 3rd down and 10. .30 seconds left in the half. Quarterback draw. Going to pick up the 1st down and then some. Inside Clarke territory to the 39-yard line. And Central will take their final timeout, I believe.
Do we know the range of our field goal kicker?
He hasn't kicked one, and he is a first-year kicker, so your guess is as good as mine.
Kind of gives me indication of his length.
He has not attempted an extra point or a field goal this season, and he is a freshman from St. Louis.
Nice job of escaping pressure from the outside, running up the middle. Nice job of getting down, slide, then immediately pop up and call timeout.
Luna 6 rushes for 40 yards. He is the only player for Central in double digits yards rushing. Out of timeout, so now they get 1st downs, incomplete pass, or out of bounds to stop the clock. They can pick up about 15 yards. I think we'll see an attempt, and they can clock it. He's just going to throw that one away, and he almost didn't throw it far enough. Defender on the sideline got a hand on it, trying to tip it back into the field of play. 2nd and 10. Hogue, the running back, to his right. 2 receivers bottom. Comes the rush, steps around it, gets away, looks, throws, sideline, caught, out of bounds. Andrew Quezada with the catch. Clock starts. Spikes it. So I think now we're going to see, because it's under 10, I think it's 6.
Be a 42-yard field goal if they attempt one.
Well, I don't know that they got time to throw a quick out and pick up any more yards before, and they don't have any timeouts.
No timeouts. Maybe a quick out. Might have one throw.
Well, they're going to run a play. Throws it towards the end zone, picked off, dropped. And that's the half, is it not? Then the 000s on the scoreboard right now. Yeah, Clarke thinks it is because they're leaving.
They're leaving the field.
And that is the halftime. So we'll have a scoreless first half, 0-0. Central will wait for Clarke to get completely off the field before they go anywhere. And then we'll have the CMU marching band, the Eagles, on the field. So no scoring, but lots of action in the first half. As Central will leave. We'll get you some, now that that has finished, get you some stats to talk about till the band comes out. Yards rushing 51 to 50 for Clarke. One yard advantage, no big deal there. Passing yards. Passing yards 69-78 for Central, so they still, Central outgains them there. And in total yards for the half, 128 Central, 120 for Clarke, so pretty even. We're going to get ready for the Eagle Marching Band to come out. Set up a mic so we can pick that up.
That's another great tradition at Central Methodist is their marching band. Professor House started and developed that program into really such a great tradition.
And now Skip Vandelicht and Steve Litweiler, veteran high school band people, have taken over and guided it. So we're going to turn our mics off, turn their mic up, so you can hear the CMU Marching Eagle Band.
Girls, you want something? I'm going to get a Gatorade. You good? Are you okay?
Under the direction of Skip Vandelicht and the field command of Senior Drum Major Maureen Hennessy, Central Methodist University proudly presents the Sound of Central, the 2022 CMU Marching Eagles. The Sound of Central opens today's show with I Can See for Miles, a song written by Pete Townsend and made popular in 1967 by The Who. Today's performance featured senior trumpet player J.T. Bott as the trumpet soloist. The Sound of Central is pleased to welcome back Reverend Mark Sattler, a 1984 graduate of Central Methodist University, to be our guest conductor today. Mark graduated with a Bachelor of Music Education degree in 1984 and was the drum major of the Central Band in 1982 and 1983, and was also a featured French horn soloist with a concert band in 1983 and 1984. Reverend Statler is now serving as the director of the Center for Leadership Excellence of the Missouri United Methodist Conference. Please welcome Reverend Mark Statler as he conducts the official march of the Central Methodist Band's Barnum and Bailey's Favorite. Thank you, Mark Statler, honorary drum major. And now to close today's show, the Sound of Central features freshman trumpet player Matt Hamilton on an old Hoagie Carmichael tune. Here's the Sound of Central and Georgia on My Mind. The CAE band is under the direction of Skip Vandler, with assistance from Steve Litwire. Karen Jeffries is the color guard coach, and Alice Legastatos is the drumline instructor.
All right, we are back. Halftime scoreless ball game. We've got the halftime stats we can look at while we're talking to you. That was the Sound of Central marching band. I was here a few years ago, and before Skip Vandelick and Steve Litweiler took over, and there was about 10 in the marching band. So it has grown, and I know that President Drake, president of Central Methodist University, has made it a point to build up the dance team, which is a national champion, and the band, and make that more important. Oh, we've got the dance team out there, so I'll stop talking while we do that. So watch this.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for the Eagles, Envy Dance Team.
All right, so the Envy Dance Team gets their part.
Charlie, as you said earlier, that Dr. Drake has made a point, and it all starts at the top, and extracurricular activities, whether it's band, whether it's athletics, is very important in the growth of a college student, and he's done a tremendous job. And if you look across not only the facilities that have been built, top first-class facilities, you look at across the board athletically. You look at the national champion soccer team, men's soccer team. You look at softball and baseball is continually ranked in the top 10 in AIA. Track and field has been very, very successful. The football team last year took a lot of strides. Basketball has done excellent for a lot of years, so it's just really important, and it's also a good draw. And I think it creates a great atmosphere on the campus as well. Brings a lot of family unity to all these individuals, and I know the academic is a high priority also. So they've just done a wonderful job.
Well, and when you start having success with lots of your programs, which they had, and I'll run through those in just a second, it makes it easier to recruit because people are interested in you before you make a phone call and ask, They don't say who. Oh, yeah, because last year you had football qualified for the NAIA playoffs, first time ever. Volleyball qualified for the NAIA playoffs. Men's and women's soccer both made it into the last 8 Final Four type situation. You had women's basketball, which made it to the Final Four. It's men's basketball who qualified for the NAIA tournament. You had baseball qualified for the NAIA tournament, as did softball, as did cross country, as did some track, and they have a wrestling program that they've started up now, and it's being built as well. So I was shocked. There is an award given out by the Heart. It's called the Governor's Trophy, and it's for the top team, the top school athletically in all of the major sports. And Central came in second, and I can't imagine what the team they got first, what they did. I think it was Grandview. Well, they finished second in the nation in football. Okay, we have a women's basketball team that finished third in the nation. So, and they've reloaded. Coach Mike Davis done a great job. Coach Sherman was just in here a minute ago with his program. Mike Davis has built a national powerhouse in women's basketball. He's got almost all of his team back from last year that made it to the Final Four. He lost his point guard, but he returns a 6'5" center, a 6'3" forward, a couple of 6'1" guards, and he's picked up a point guard that played at Texas Tech. Steve is giving me a look. The point guard from last year that was an All-American was a transfer. She had played at West Virginia.
Wow. And it also makes a big difference when you know the coaches that recruit you are invested in you as a person.
And they're staying.
And good people, good coaches are going to recruit good kids, and they're staying around and they're being successful and they're getting that college atmosphere with a good academic program. And parents want to know. Parents want to know that their child's going to be taken care of personally, academically, and grow as a person. And I don't think there's any question that Central Methodist University covers all those areas, and they're doing just such a, like we said, such a fabulous job, and they'll continue to.
When my son was coming out of high school, he was not highly recruited for baseball, but he was recruited some. And the question we would always ask the coach is, are you going to be here for 4 years? And the answer was usually telling. That's the plan. That's not going to be. You're not going to be here for 4 years, because that's the plan. Is you find that's somebody that's looking to go somewhere else. When they say, I've been here for 14 years, I'm not going anywhere, that gives you a lot of confidence that you're going to be with who recruited you and not somebody else who doesn't want you. So Central has done a fabulous job. Like I say, Dr. Drake has come in here. I will tell you a story. I've told this story on the air before, but I don't know if Stephen has heard it. When Dr. Drake came here as president of the school's gift to him was a ping pong table. He is an avid table tennis guy.
I would have never guessed that. No, absolutely
and
not.
Here comes even more that you're going to find hard to believe. He has played students for their tuition. If they can beat him.
You're kidding me.
No, he has played them for their tuition.
Has he ever lost?
He has not.
He has not. That's incredible. I have not heard that story. I'm going to have to tell the good doctor that story. He'll love that.
How?
He'll love that. That's incredible.
The story I got from someone was that there was a student who deemed himself to be a very, very proficient in table tennis who challenged Dr. Drake and was humbled quite much by the outcome of the contest.
And Dr. Drake has such a great personality. He can fit in and mix and have a conversation with just a regular person. He comes downtown during homecoming and mingles with the crowd, and hey, how you doing? He's great at remembering names and faces, and has done a wonderful job fundraising. It's just it's a wonderful time for Central Methodist.
Absolutely.
It's a different time, but it's also a wonderful time, and the facilities, the educational facilities, and the classrooms. Beth and I walked through last year, and it's just the upkeep and the remodeling and the newness. it's just a wonderful time for Central athletically and academically, and it's fun to come back and kind of reminisce and walk through the middle of the campus and Lynn Memorial Church.
My daughter got married in that church 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Right. Beth and I were married in that church, and she was also a band participant, played the clarinet. She had a lot of recitals, and I was expected to be at those recitals.
I understand that wholeheartely.
but
my youngest daughter is a band teacher. She's a band director. She played clarinet, and so I've been to all of her recitals and her boyfriend's recitals, who now is her husband's recitals. I never heard him sing. He's a vocal major. He went to University of Central Missouri. I did not hear him sing in English till he was out of school at a Christmas program. He sung Spanish, Italian. I didn't know he could. I poked my wife and I said, he can speak in English. He can sing in English. But Dr. Drake is just, he's at almost all of the events. I had a contemporary of mine just inducted into the Hairston Hall of Fame last year as a baseball player. And he was so impressed that Dr. Drake sat down and talked to him and listened to what he said and would relate with him rather than just sitting there listening and then moving on. So Roger Drake, great friend of the college, great. He is a true person, because if he's not at a basketball game that I'm doing, he will text me and tell me, put the pressure on me. I'm listening. So Eagles to kick off to start this scoreless second half of play. There's a kick. Comes down about the 16-yard line. Looking for some room, finding room, dipping and going. Almost loses the ball. And we've got a Central player down, and they're waving in a hurry to come out because he's had his helmet off and he's face down on the turf. So, and they're going to move everybody away from him. So
that doesn't look very good, Charlie.
It does not look good when the other player from the other team is waving your training staff out in a hurry. That is not good.
I see his feet moving.
Yeah, he tried to roll a little bit.
His helmet was knocked off, so it may be some sort of head or neck injury.
But again, Dr. Drake is such an important part of this school and this community.
He's made a point to get to know the older professors and you know, a lot of the people who were there a long time before he came. He's made a point to get to know them and probe their mind, get their advice, their ideas, and he's made a point to come over and see Doc where he lives now, and always very genuine.
Well, I know that your dad, Doc Lujan, was instrumental in getting a lot of us through school.
Including me.
Including me, including you.
The right way, though.
Yeah, but
the right way.
I expected him to put you through school. I didn't expect him to show the interest in everyone that he showed. They're bringing out a backboard.
They're going to cut off his jersey. So that tells me some sort of possibly neck. The ambulance is being called. No.
We are not going to conjecture. Cart. We don't know who it is, and so we're not holding back on you, which we would probably do anyway, because we don't want to alarm anyone. We don't want to call a wrong number and have parents and family upset and to find out that wasn't them. I mean, they'd be relieved it wasn't them, but the consternation that we might have caused could be something. So we're not going to be able to see, and that's fine. It's going to block us out. That's okay. I see Quentin Norris down in the stands down here. Quentin does volleyball, baseball, softball. You'd probably do Dr. Drake's table tennis match if he got an invite to do that. He does a lot of announcing here. Just recently was celebrated with his 30 years of broadcasting. But again, Steve and I go back. I was finishing up. I finished in 78. And then we played a lot of softball together in town here and on the road.
We did. We had, at that time, there were 9 or 10 softball teams in and around Fayette area.
Yeah, they had a league here in town. There was a league in Glasgow, and you could go play every weekend somewhere.
We did. We had a lot of fun. I don't know that they still do that.
I don't think they do it very much like that anymore, but it was quite the deal then. And my best friend, Doug Freevert, who I played baseball with here for 3 years at Central, will send me a picture every once in a while that he comes across of this team from softball. And he that team was 40-8. Oh, great. I'm glad you remember all that. I can barely remember who all was on the team, and you're telling me what our record was during the course of the year. But we were very athletic. Jeff Sherman was part of those teams as well. So, and he could still run even after knee operations. So we've got a break.
This is really a somber moment.
It is. There's not much going on.
It's
the
just
crowd is quiet. And
nothing you ever want to see, and
everybody's on a knee. Both sides. And it's very remindful of the Grandview game to start off the season. There was a tragedy here in town right before the first football game. And Grandview's players, their captains came to midfield, exchanged jerseys, condolences, well wishes. And after the game was over, and Grandview won 51-0, they got together at midfield, had a nice talk. Both teams, both coaches spoke, and then took a knee, and everybody prayed, and it was a very nice sign of sportsmanship for everybody concerned.
It puts everything in perspective, doesn't it?
It does, and this does too. This is a game that young men play, and sometimes young men get hurt.
And you can't take it for granted. Every time you come out of a game, you've got to appreciate what you did. And we pray that this young man is going to be okay.
Yeah, I don't know who it is, but I'm going to guess it's an offensive player because both of the quarterbacks, Luna and Collins and Cole, came out and said something to the young man as he was being carted off. So we're back to action. That was the kickoff. We've not gotten very far in the second half. This will be the first play from scrimmage of quarter number 3.
So what's interesting as a coach, what type of halftime adjustments each coach made? Are they going to stay with the game plan? Are they going to add a wrinkle or two, bring more blitzes possibly if you're Central?
Coach Seward is a defensive coordinator, but Coach Calloway comes from a defensive background. He was a defensive coordinator before it here. So they usually come up with some pretty good adjustments to make things a little more difficult. First play goes for about 5, so second down and 5 on a in-between tackle run by the running back, Mueller. Going to hand it again. This time, LaMarcus Washington involved in that, as was Cameron Essick. Essick, the number 2 tackler on the team coming into this. Davian Stockard comes off. He's their leading tackler. He was one of the speakers at the athletic auction this year and did a very nice job of articulating his time at Central and what it meant to him. Third down, short pass out in the flat, broken up, and it'll be fourth down. So it'll be 4th down. Defense does its job to start the second half. I believe that's Christian Bryce back for the Eagles.
Can we get a block punt? Looks like we're coming.
We've run another player out there.
We're going.
Gets it off, and it's a nice high spiral.
Just can't quite get there, can we?
Nope. Put some pressure on it, and
they brought 9 that time, but Clarke's doing a pretty nice job of protecting.
You're going to have to be careful with that. Their punter is their quarterback. You start throwing it, running all those people and just leaving one guy deep. They're going to run a fake and throw a pass out of it. But I'm sure that the coaches are aware of that. Luna with Aldridge, the running back by him. Back inside the 10-yard line, in between the 8 and the 9. No flags as it started. There was movement. Throw is outside, out of bounds, incomplete. It was intended for Drew Irwin, a freshman, 6'3" freshman. See if I can find out about him. Freshman from Monette, Missouri. 2nd and 10. Quick out. Caught. Out to about the 16-yard line. Irwin with it.
Across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Innovate on the play. 3rd down 2.
Kenneth Spate on the tackle. Senior out of Rodeo, California. I wanted to say rodeo, but I figured that wasn't quite right. 3rd down. And about 2.5. Aldridge with the carry. Fights, but he's not going to get there, I don't think. It's going to be close. Line says it's a 1st down. They're moving. Part of the chains are moving anyway. The back one is getting ready to move, and it will be a 1st down. So nice for there. Central gets a 3 and out on defense, picks up a 1st down on offense. Out to the 18-yard line. See if they can sustain a drive for a length of time. There's a flag going to come. Free play. Throw it deep. Blow the whistle. Blow it dead. And I think we'll have an encroachment. Make it 1st and 5. Oh, they call it a false start on offense. Fans don't care for that too much. Fans in front of us are enjoying the game because they're in the shade right now. To our right's in the bright sunshine. To our left is in the bright sunshine. So the premium is getting the seats in between the 50-yard line and about the 35 right now in front of us. There you go. Now they've changed it to an encroachment in the neutral zone that caused the false start. Had a high school game last night, Stephen, where I saw the officials pick up flags 3 separate times and say no foul.
A lot of indecision.
So 1st and 5 from the 23. And their movement again. No flags. Outside. Receiver not looking back. That was almost a disaster, and he's going to get a quick talking to from the sideline. He's going to get some extra coaching. That's Irwin again.
There's something going on down there with the snap count and the way he's using his voice. That's about the 6th or 7th time that they've jumped, they went back.
And that's Nathaniel Marshall, the center. He's a senior out of the state of California, so it's not new to him. But you have two different quarterbacks. There's almost another jump, and there's another jump, and now a flinch. So, Stephen, what do you think about that? You have a flinch on defense.
It's his inflection.
I know, but is it going to be illegal procedure because the lineman started because the other guy flinched, or is it going to be encroachment because he flinched and then the other guy moved?
I think it's got to be the defensive line, because once you get into the neutral zone, then it's automatic. You can't go back.
Well, there's a lot of coaches that will tell you if you see tell the center if you see a guy in the neutral zone, snap the ball.
Snap the ball.
Doesn't make any difference. Pick up the penalty and get a free play.
I think it's got to be on.
They're going to call it a false start, move it back.
Absolutely.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 10 instead of
starting all over again.
Yeah, we're back to the original line of scrimmage. A 5-yard penalty one way, then a 5-yard penalty going back the other way. An incomplete pass in between. Nice stiff arm by Aldridge. Gets around the corner and gets shouldered out of bounds. It's Kenneth Spade again with the big hit. Spade on the season has 16 tackles in 2 ball games. He's been a force here defensively and on the punt return, where he had a muff punt. Quick pass in the flat. Going to get the first down.
Very nicely done. A little swing pass out to the left. You know, this half hasn't started with any type of rhythm at all on either side.
Looking to see. That's Garen Vroman. He is a freshman from here in Fayette.
There you go. Good old Fayette.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this.
Good old Fayette, boy.
He had 2,901 yards rushing last year as a senior.
That's incredible.
5th in the nation in total rushing amongst all football players. And he started the first ball game as a freshman. Quick pass out, tip, knocked down, incomplete. Intended for Aaron Edwards, incomplete. It will be 2nd down and 10 at the 31. The Eagles got the ball back about the 8-yard line and picked up a couple of first downs, moved it out of there. Eagles with 10 first downs in the game. Clarke was 7. That's Roman again. Picks up a couple of yards. Luna's numbers are not great. He's 9 of 26 according to this in the ball game for 94 yards. But he's managed when flushed to find a way to pick up some yards. And Luna is from Atasco, Texas. Snap, back, looks, flush, goes right, throws it, intercepted in the flat. Bad choice there.
Got him on a sprint out, roll him outside the pocket to give him some protection. And that was a misfire, absolutely. I was looking at the roster of Centrals and as Clarke also in all the different states that we are recruiting. And that all comes back to the scholarships that they started to give athletes across the board.
And that's also part of your transfer portal, because
that's it.
For a few years, 3-4 years ago, Central was bringing in a new quarterback, be a 5th-year senior from somewhere that was wanting to play one more year. That 1 year it was a wide receiver who had been a quarterback who wanted to be a quarterback again, and he came in and did a fine job. There's a run. Not going to pick up a lot as the defense is there. Cameron Essick, defensive lineman, makes the tackle. Cameron Essick, senior defensive lineman out of Branson, Missouri. He came into the game as the second leading tackler. No gain, 2nd and 10.
You know, if he's from Branson, he's a hard-nosed football player.
Yeah, you got that right.
They play physical football down there.
Through, and he's going to pick up the first down. About the only thing down in that area that might be tougher is if you were from Webb City.
Webb City.
I believe Webb City either holds the record for state championships in high school by a team, or they're tied with Valley Catholic out of St. Genevieve, which is the end of the world where I come from. I'm a St. Genevieve boy, but I went to the public school. Braxton Rethwich was the recruiter that came and talked.
You know, I'm seeing Clarke get into a rhythm of running between the tackles. We got the little back that's hard to see. He's running downhill. The offensive line's beginning to get a couple creases.
Yeah, the offensive line for Clarke is much bigger than the defensive line for Central.
Yes.
Clarke's offensive line, 280, 280, 265, 310, 295.
It's beginning to take a toll.
The defensive line for Central, I'll tell you after this play, size-wise. Another run. That one doesn't go anywhere.
As the day goes on and you line up and you're running that football and having success, and your defense is on the football field for the amount of time that Central has, it's going to wear them down. Physically and with the heat, when you're getting hit as opposed to hitting somebody, it makes a difference, Charlie.
The Central defensive line, 230, 280, 260, 230, as opposed to 280, 280, 310, 295. Quickness can do you a lot, but bulk will eventually wear you down. And we have a timeout called before the snap on 3rd down and 7. You've mentioned some names of Dale Mason and Gene Williams. I saw both of those gentlemen along with Tom Stein not too long ago at one of the induction ceremonies. I think that was for Steve Klein going into the Hairston Hall of Fame as a baseball player. And he's who President Drake sat down and talked to. And then President Drake told me afterwards, he said, all the things that I heard about him, is it possible that he's the greatest athlete that's ever been here? Because Klein was an All-American basketball player and played minor league baseball for the Reds and the Mariners. And I said, I don't know about that. I'm sure there are people here that played 3 sports years ago. I know Bill Langford played 3 sports. He played football, basketball, and baseball. I don't know that there's anybody, and I don't know about the 60s, but I don't know of anybody that played multiple sports as well as he played both sports.
Let me throw a name to you. Before my time, I watched him when I was growing up, Buster Delaroche.
I knew that's where you were going to go.
I am telling
and that's
you,
why I threw the disclaimer in before the 70s.
Let me say this. I think Buster, and I've been around when we came here in '67. I've seen a lot of athletes. Buster Delaroche, just from a pure athletic standpoint, may have been the finest athlete. I mean, everything's up for debate, but he was a great football player, and in track, he was just spectacular. Buster Delaroche was just an incredible athlete.
I think we're going to see a field goal attempt. This would be Victor Marino, a junior.
35 yards, is that how we're?
It's at the 18-19, so it'll be 38-39. No, you're right. And it is good. So it's from the 12 plus 17, it's 29, about a 29-yard field goal attempt. So the tie is broken. It's 3-0 now.
We have an offensive explosion going on here, Charlie.
Yeah, that was the most sustained drive of the day. And
was that started at the beginning of the half? Was that same
No,
drive?
Central had the ball.
Did
It was
Central
the
have one?
interception, I think, started that one with the
Okay.
pick over
There-
here around
that's-
the 30-yard line or
That's
so.
right. That's right.
So it wasn't a long drive,
Mhm.
but it was enough. So we're bringing up some old names. Some of those guys are still out there somewhere listening. I mentioned Steve Klein. He just recently came into the 20th century technology-wise with a smartphone and a computer. Lived his life without one. Somebody gave him their old cell phone and put him on a plan, and now he has a cell phone, so you can call and talk to him. And he's watching the stock market on a computer now. So he says he's not a dinosaur anymore.
What are we doing?
We're scattering for a kickoff. Kamel is back. I can't tell if that's Bryce Christian back with him. It's Quezada and Kamel. High kick going to come down to Kamel about the 3. Stumbles. Heads forward.
Got a little
cuts
crease.
through. Out across the 25.
Nice return. Nice job.
We've got some extracurricular activity on the side.
It appears to me that we're both sides are getting a little chippy.
And I think we got a flag out at the 20-yard line, which is never good on a kickoff return. So block in the back by the Eagles will take them back probably inside the 10-yard line. He said 37. There's not one of those on the roster, so whoever it is avoiding his name being mentioned right now.
Do we have an update of the Missouri Tigers and the K-State Wildcats? That started at 11.
Nick Thomas, our producer, says 26-20 K-State with, in the third quarter, what?
I think in
Less than 10 minutes in the game. So you can ask Nick about anything. He's got the answer to
Always
it.
nice to have a guy in the booth with you that come up that information that quickly.
I will say this about Nick. Nick started as an intern working with me, and he's graduated up to being the best guy I've ever worked with. He started out as a cameraman, and he's holding the camera out on a tripod out the window and negotiating things. And
Everyone's got to have a Nick.
oh yeah, you got that right. We did a soccer game, and it was a Beverly Hillbillies trying to cover soccer. It was terrible. Running play gets back to the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to be 3rd down and long for the Eagles. You don't want to go 3 and out and put your defense right back out there again. Looks like Coach Callaway has decided that Matt Luna is his guy today, as Malin Cole has not had an appearance yet, the other quarterback that they split time the first 2 games. And that play goes nowhere. Alexander Schad with the tackle, junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And it's 4th down, 13. I don't know what the talk is about. You surely can't go for it there on 4th and 13 in the third quarter. Even though I have covered a high school that did that from time to time, unsuccessfully. And they've got it loaded up, and
We're going to get another penalty if we don't get it snapped here pretty quick.
it's down to 1.
Too late. Yeah.
Spade is standing at his own 35, at the central 35-yard line right now before this penalty. So unless Workman booms one against the wind, Clarke's going to have extra good field position to start this drive, just like they did the last time when they started around the 30-yard line after the pick. Workman, last time he punted out of the end zone last week, it was blocked and recovered for a touchdown. I'm sure the film on that's been seen. Kick, almost straight up, going to land at the 28-yard line. And Spade comes up and takes it on the fly, runs out of bounds, and saves more yardage again. And that ball is going to be around the 25-yard line. So about a 20-yard punt. And it is at the 25-yard line. So other than Coach Holmes, who else were on your coaching staff when you were here, Steve?
Our defensive coordinator, my first year, was Steve Phipps, who was a longtime baseball coach.
And was my baseball coach.
And was your baseball coach, and had a great amount of success. In fact, I think he introduced Steve Klein at the Harrison Hall of Fame banquet, or he was there in attendance.
Larry Holly actually did the induction speech for him because Coach Phipps is not as ambulatory as he used to be.
Right. Scotty Swafford, who played here as a linebacker.
He was a wild man.
Undersized, and Scotty coached me. In fact, he was the first coach. I didn't play football in Fayette my first year, and he got hired my sophomore year and drugged me out, and that's what started my career. Scotty Swafford was, Jim Stamos was the quarterback coach. So we had a nice staff.
2nd and 7. There's the handoff up the middle, and it's effective again. But it's fumbled out of there, and Central has the ball.
I'm not real for sure how that occurred.
I don't either. But
now we have a couple flags.
They're after the play. I think that's Joseph Slattery that got the ball. I think he just took it away from the runner. But we've got 2 flags back into the play, and hopefully that's just a cramp from the player on the ground. But we're going to have a penalty or 2, and that's probably going to go against the defense, taking a shot at the offensive player after the change of possession. Official will give us the word in just a second, hopefully. As soon as he gets all the information.
As a coach, you just hate to see that type of undisciplined action by a player, especially after a turnover.
That's Donald Garland.
Big play turnover.
Yeah, you would have the ball roughly at the 25-yard line or so, and now you're going to have it back at the 10 again or less. But it's post change of possession, so Central will still have the football, but not in the field position they would have had before that, as they're going to walk it all off. Fans are reminding the officials which is the home team here and which is the visiting team.
And he said we're Methodist.
In addition to. In addition to, you know who's paying you, right?
How can you call that against us?
Why are we getting the calls going against us? It's always interesting to see what the fan take of all this is. How one side sees the play as there's nothing wrong with it, and the other side sees it as it's just short of assault. I umpired a lot of baseball, softball in my life, and I always felt like if I walked out and everybody was mad at me, I did a pretty good job because I didn't show anybody too much favoritism if everybody was mad. If one side was really happy, then I probably made a call that benefited them a great deal.
Just look for consistency.
And, you know, it's always, well,
Don't call the nitpicky things.
there's going to be a holding call on every play.
That's it.
You know,
Doesn't make a difference in the actual play itself.
So Luna back in, Eagles back around their 12-yard line as they take over, trailing 3-0 in the third quarter. Getting a little easier. I think it's 3:50 on the clock. Handoff. Breaks the tackle, picks up a couple of yards. Hunter Hogue picks up 3. Second down. So Central, I think, is winning the turnover war. I think Clarke has turned it over 3 times at least. If I can get it on here quick enough. Lost 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. Outside, little screen pass going inside to the wide receiver. Quezada out to the 20-yard line. 3rd and 2. Eagles could really stand to pick up some first downs here. Their best play is Luna just taking off when he gets a chance, flushed out of the pocket and running. 3 down receivers at the bottom. 1 at the top, empty backfield, just Luna. Pretty good setup for a quarterback draw. Motion. It is a quarterback draw. They're trying to pull him forward. He's close to a first down. Ball comes out. Where they're marking it, I think he's going to be just short unless they give it to him. I think he's less than about a foot short, and we've got a player down. And that's Luna, and they're going to stretch him out.
Heat's starting to take a toll.
It is, and if they want to go for it on 4th down, they'll either have to use a timeout, or Malin Cole, who's number 17, putting his helmet on, is going to have to come in on 4th down. They say 3rd down. Are they going to give him a first down?
They're going to give him first down.
Well, that's a lot better for Malin Cole than coming in on 4th and short for your first snap. But Luna will have to come out for a play. He's jogging off. Official blows his whistle, says it's not a timeout. Get back out here. Let's get going. Cole is a freshman out of Milan, Missouri. He's got a lot of experience, not all of it positive in the first couple of games. And now we have extracurricular after almost every single play. And some of it reminds me a little bit of soccer. Just touch somebody, fall down, and act like you've been hit with a frying pan.
The flop.
The flop.
The flop.
They're dead, and you got to carry them off, and then the next play they're standing up, ready to come back in again.
The only problem is the bottom 10 on ESPN always catches those people that do it. That's not a good clip.
No, it's not. I have a story about ESPN and their 10. I'll tell it in a little bit. Luna back in, going to be sacked. I've actually made the top 10. There's some more flags, all of them going. Everybody's throwing one. I've made the top 10 as an announcer twice in 2 different occasions on theirs. Once was a very good thing, and once was not such a good thing. I did a ball game, Smith Cotton ball game, where they had a special needs player that Hickman allowed to run 80 yards for a touchdown at the end of the game.
I saw that clip.
Yes, P.J. Allred.
Yes,
They put him in, and talked to both coaches. It was 40-0. It was like the last play of the game. And they worked it out that they would hand him the ball, and he would run down the field and score.
That's wonderful.
About the 20-yard line, it was an 80-yard run. About the 20-yard line getting into the end zone, he was running out of gas. And it was, if he falls down, I don't know what's going to happen because he's not going to make it to the end zone. Todd Rusk was the official who played for me for a year at Central in baseball. I asked him, he goes, we were going to have to do something because it was supposed to happen. So that happened, and that made the top 10 because of the play. Luna feels the low snap, does what he can out of it, gets out to the 15. There's more pushing and shoving. There's some more pushing and shoving.
Things are not going well.
No, they are not. And then the second time I made the ESPN top 10, I was doing a Division III playoff series. Pitcher comes in for one of the teams. He's their closer, D3, no scholarships. He's a right fielder. He comes in to close the ball game, walks the first batter, walks behind the mound, and starts throwing up. And we got on because of our golf-like demeanor of not saying exactly what he was doing, but just saying he didn't feel well. Spate catches it on the run again. And down he goes. The yellow shoes that a couple of the players have out there, every time they run by, I'm thinking there's a flag on the field, but that's not it. So, yeah, my partner for the ball game, that baseball game, is my boss from St. Louis. And I said, I don't think he feels well. And he goes, well, maybe he tweaked something in that last at bat. And I'm sitting there watching the guy on one knee throwing up. And I said, no, he doesn't feel well. And then finally my partner looks in and goes, oh, he doesn't feel well. I got it. And then we tried to not get too involved in it. And he said, I think he's going to try and gut this out. Oh, gosh. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, that's funny. This ball game this quarter has been played on Clarke's side of the 50.
Yep, it has. Central's defense has been under pressure this whole time. That's Stockard trying to run down Mueller, and that's not going to happen out in the open field. Mueller's going to pick up enough for a first down and move it down again. Central's defense going to have to hold and force another field goal attempt. It's 3-0 with 2.6 seconds left in the third quarter. This will be the final play, barring a defensive penalty of some sort of the quarter. Not going anywhere that time, and that will end it. As Lawton McClinchin makes the tackle. He is a sophomore out of Sykeston. He's a Bulldog. So that'll end the third quarter. 3-0. 3 points in the third quarter. That's it. 3-0 in favor of Clarke, as we'll come back for fourth quarter action in just a second as I talk to Steve Lujan. And I will explain what we're trying to do this year. The new athletic director, Jeff Sherman, has tasked me with finding legends of past to come do ball games. So now you're a legend as well, Steve.
You're using that term very loosely.
He had a very specific criteria that he was looking for people from the past. I did this last year with basketball. I did some basketball games. I do them by myself, and sometimes I just like to have some noise, somebody to talk to. So David Fox came and did a ball game with me, and Jim Ross came and did a ball game with me, and then David Fox and Danny Whithelm came and did a ball game with me, and Jeff really liked having the former players with their input. So he said, can we do that with football? I said, sure. You tell me what you want and how I find these people. And he said, well, I want legends of Central that were in the Hall of Fame and, if possible, were All-Americans. Well, that limited my scope my search got pretty small at that point in time. So you're here. It looks like Central's made an adjustment to that between tackle run.
And I've enjoyed every minute of it. I appreciate you asking. And for those individuals that fit that criteria, I would highly recommend you do it. From my perspective, I've been a coach for 35 years, so I've got a good understanding of what they're trying to accomplish and get done. But just from the pure aspect of coming back to a football game, it's just really nice. Really a lot of fun.
I've enjoyed having you. Coach Sherman was very happy when we talked about getting you to come in and do this. 3rd down and long, into the end zone.
Get Pickett.
Tries to, but I think was going to be out of the end zone anyway.
Nice coverage.
So
corner route. Had plenty of time to throw.
4th down from about the 20, so this will be a 37, 38-yarder into the wind. As Marino will come out. And if I look at his numbers before today, he was 2 of 3 with a long of 33. Left-footed kicker. Snap back, ball down, on the way. Got plenty of distance, but I think it's wide right. It is no good, and it stays at 3. I think we may see Malin Cole come in as the quarterback. He was warming up on the sideline. We'll see if 17 Cole or 18 Luna returns to the game. Luna's 10 of 28, 99 yards and 2 picks. And it is Malin Cole that comes out. Cole, on the other hand, for the season, 8 of 18 for 29 yards. He is more of a running type guy than he is a passing guy, and he is a freshman. Looks to the sideline. Gets the play off. Pushing forward, I think that's Garen Vroman. Picks up about 8 on the play. Again, Garen Vroman, local talent from Fayette High School, as was Steve Lujan.
We had in 70, 75 through 77, we had 5 Fayette boys that were on our roster. So it was.
Do you remember who some of those were?
And we were all living a dream. Don Bagby.
Big time.
We were living our dream. We thought this was the only thing to play. Don Bagby was pound for we had on defense. Lifelong Fayette resident.
Yeah. Businessman here in town. I think he just recently sold
the
gas and oil business that he had here in town.
He took over for his father, Fay Bagby.
Mm-hmm. And Fay was brother Gary.
And Gary, they worked it together, and just really a great. I still to this day, when I'm coming through, stop. And Don will run out to the car. I'll go in. We'll visit for 30 minutes. Wonderful fella. Brian McMillan, nose tackle. Danny Krigler came out of Fayette and played a couple years. He's now a retired conservation agent.
Luna back in after the sack. Spate puts a hit on Quezada, but it's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down. Jeff Sherman called me recently and asked me if I knew of a name from a player from the past that was, I believe, an offensive lineman. He said, "Have you ever heard of this guy?" And I said, "Yeah, actually, he lived across the hall from me in McMurray when I was a freshman." Well,
who was that, Charlie?
It was Louis Bluford Jr.
Oh, yes.
Blue.
Yes.
And I think he was an offensive lineman.
He was an offensive lineman, and
I think he was pretty good.
And he was really good, and he was very large.
Because I think he has
Yes.
passed away, and his wife is trying to
Yes.
clean everything up.
That's
and
it.
they came across something that said that Bluford Lewis should have been an All-American, but the paperwork didn't get submitted in time, so he didn't. So Sherman said, I've been looking at running backs and quarterbacks trying to figure out who this All-American. I said, I think he's a lineman. And he said, well, that's why I wouldn't have any idea, and nobody would. And I said, is Brian McMillan still in Fayette? Yes. Ask Brian. Because if he was an offensive lineman, Brian practiced against him every day. Because Brian was a defensive lineman.
Lewis Bluford's last year was in '75. That was my first year.
Yep. He lived across the hall with another football player by the name of Quentin Peters.
Quentin Peters, yes.
Cue ball.
Yep, that's it.
Q and blue.
And Quentin Peters, and then there was Bobby Griffin. Bobby Griffin was a nose tackle. And those were wonderful players, wonderful people. And those two ended up signing a free agent contract after they got out as a free agent, didn't make the team, but they were extremely tough individuals.
Mueller back, got plenty of time. Now he's flushed, taken down. Ball comes out. It looks like nope, or he got away. And here we go with the whistles and the chippiness again. It'll be third down and about 4 when they untangle all of this. Asking the crowd to get into it on this 3rd down and 3. And a timeout call by Central. Didn't like what they saw. .10:54, I believe, left in the 4th quarter.
Chico Jones was a three-sport letterman in football, basketball, and track. Tom Brummett.
Dr. Tom Brummett.
Dr. Tom Brummett, I believe he lives and practices in Jeff City. Wonderful athlete.
Father was pretty instrumental, was big in Central as well. I think Dick Brummett, I think he may have gone to school here and played some sports way back when. Sacked. What a nice bunch there. He had 3 players coming at him, and he had nowhere to go. That's Davion Stockard, number 9, who gets credit for the biggest part of that, coming from his middle linebacker spot.
Charlie, I think that's going to be a spark.
And here we got a flag way downfield as players are leaving. And we'll see which side that goes against, because there was a couple of Central players and one Clarke player. Let's see who had something to say to the others. Because this is getting the feel of a basketball game that's about to get out of control. It's going to be 4th and 10. This happened after the play. Unsportsman. Well, he said the penalty was against Clarke, and it's first down, but I think maybe he said 4th down. It's going to be 4th and 25 now instead of 4th and 10. So it was an unsportsmanlike against Clarke. So Central now, their return man is standing at his own 40. That may be a little far even with the wind for Mueller. Up in the air, it's going to bounce around the 46 and take a hop, and it's going to cost the Eagles 19 yards by not catching the ball in the air. Spate comes up and catches every single one of them for Clarke and saves yardage. That one cost. And he's getting to talk about come up, wave fair catch, and catch the ball. And needs to find a way, short pass, scramble, pick up some yards and get down the field a little bit. Got the wind at his back for a kicker to try and tie this up. Quick out.
There we go.
Nice 9-yard, 8-yard pickup to start with. And here come the officials in again to try and
Safe, quick pass. Get the ball out of your hands quickly. Let your good athletes catch and run.
negate the blitz a little bit.
That's
and
it.
Push by the line.
That's it. You know, now you can run a little quick and go. Get him down the sideline if you complete a few of the short ones.
You can do a lot of things on 2nd and 2 that you can't do on 2nd and 12. Here comes the rush. Into traffic. Caught by at midfield. Dragged backwards, but it'll be a first down, 49-yard line in Pride territory. I see some schools changing their mascot. Evangel changed theirs. They're not the Crusaders anymore. They're now called Valor. They are the Evangel Valor.
Valor.
And it's a horse is their symbol. And I think this is the last year that they are in the heart. They're going to the Kansas Conference. Eagles starting to chew up a little yardage here, Steve.
They are, and they're running between the tackles.
Garen Vroman.
Evangel Valor.
Yes, and they took the knight off of the horse and kept the horse as their symbol.
Not real catchy.
It's not, because I don't know what is it the Valor? They're just Valor.
Show Valor.
Quick out, not a lot of yardage there, but back to the line of scrimmage plus a little bit. Make it 3rd down and about 3.
Heart of America Conference has had staying power, and they have really done a nice job of adding the Northern Division, and it's just add a nice flavor to the schools.
And no matter what sport it is, there are heart teams in the top 25.
That's it.
There are no easy games anymore. 3rd down, 3. 2 on the shot on the play clock. Get it off. Flushed. Not going to be able to go anywhere as there's a stone wall there. Knocked backwards, and it'll be 4th down.
That's unfortunate.
And 10 plus.
Because that takes away any chance of going on 4th. You know, Missouri Valley back in the day in the mid-'70s was a powerhouse. Kenny Gibbler was a longtime coach there.
And now you've got Grandview, which is a perennial.
William Penn a couple years ago ended up being really good.
Benedictine, America. There are not a lot of easy games. Culver used to be a team that you could count on getting a win, and now they're pretty good.
Baker University with Charlie Richards was just absolutely a powerhouse.
Kick is away. Spate, see, he doesn't let it bounce.
No.
He's going to catch it. And
a lot of confidence with that young man.
He's a senior. He has saved his team a lot of yardage today off punts that didn't get a chance to bounce. I believe the clock says 7:01, so Central needs to stop, and they need to do something soon or they're going to run out of time. Mueller 8 of 18. I need to see if that's updated. Handoff. Met again by tacklers. Yeah, 8 of 18, 69 yards, 2 picks. See Terrell Aldridge on the sideline testing an ankle. Joseph Slattery with the tackle. Always like to mention he's from Pensacola, Florida. Used to have a lot of Florida players here back in the day. Handoff up the middle. Not going to go anywhere. It'll be third down. A lost yardage there. It'll be going to be 3rd and 9. Defense would like to get off the field and get the ball back to the offense in decent field position.
Do you bring pressure on 3rd down, Charlie? You know they're going to throw it.
Yeah,
We're coming off the edge. We're going to rush 5. Nice.
There's a hold, and it's going to get called.
I think we got the ball.
And I think we got the
Charlie.
ball. Yeah, I think we do.
That's a great rush on the outside. Charlie, that's the second time that's happened where we have just taken the ball out of the guy's hands, the running back's hands.
I'm looking to see. I know it's a 4-digit. I don't know if that's if that's Essick. Might be 42. If it is, that's Dylan Holt. Sophomore out of Altenburg, Missouri. Well, if the Eagles are going to score, this is their shot. 1st and goal from just beyond the 5. Roman is the running back. Luna is the quarterback. And they've got an up back for blocking purposes just in front of where Roman is offset left, and there's where he goes, but there will be a flag, and now it's going to be 1st and goal from just outside the 10. Yep, false start against the offense, so to back up 5.
Well, if you're a defensive coordinator and defensive player, you've done your job this game.
Yeah,
on both sides.
Yeah, I think if you're Central and you gave up 3 points in the game, you've got to be thrilled with
Absolutely.
that on the defensive side.
Two big takeaways.
Now if they can just put something on the board offensively.
Good tough run.
I think that's
off
Roman.
The left side inside the tackle. Nice run, good push.
Got about 3, almost 4 on it. So
you like a running back to run behind their pads. You don't like them to run straight up. You want them to run behind their pads.
The stick on the side says 3rd down. Now they've switched it back to 2nd down because 1st down was a penalty. So that was the first play. So it's 2nd and goal from just inside the 7. Last couple of years, we had an All-American wide receiver that would go get, you could throw it up and he'd go get it. That's not the case anymore.
Roll in the pocket.
Rolling right,
Sprint
throwing it
out,
to the corner.
Roll the pocket, and he's out of bounds. Roll the pocket. Tom Stein threw the best ball to catch. It wasn't hard, but it was just firm. It was right to the point. Great spiral. Just an easy ball to catch.
And it never looked like he tried hard to throw the ball.
He was a natural thrower. I believe he came out of McClure North. McClure? Maybe it was McClure, one of the McClure schools.
I think you're right. 3rd down and goal. 4:28 to go. Eagles looking for the lead, at least for a chance at the tie. Up the middle, not going to get out of the pocket, though, and it'll be 4th down and goal at the 5.
One tackle. One tackle.
Talking it over on the sideline. Eagles only have one timeout left, and here comes the kicking team on. That will be Workman. I think. I don't think it is. Jesus Pena from Brownsville, Texas.
That's just a wedge, isn't it, Charlie?
Yeah. Remember when
Just
Coach
a
Holmes
wedge.
would do the swing and gate stuff and then come back for it?
That's it.
Down, up,
You missed it.
no good. And the clock was still running, so we lost a little time off of it, 3:51. And now as a team, you just feel like you're bit. Like just nothing is going to go right. You get a big break, you can't punch it in, and you miss a chip shot. The snap was low, was handled, threw the time off a little bit. You still got time to play defense and get it back, but you only got one timeout left. So a couple of first downs by Clarke would cement the 3-0 win. And I'll go back to that was a 3-run homer by Victor Marino. And Central goes on the road next week to play at Graceland, and then they're back here against number 22, Culver Stockton. Three ranked teams by the Heart and one receiving votes. So 4 of the top 25 teams are Heart teams. Number 2, Grandview. Number 13, Baker. 22, Culver. And Benedictine receiving votes. So there's no easy route.
No, there isn't.
There's not a chip. There's not a game on the schedule you can point to and say that's a guaranteed win. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Coming from the outside, that's where he ends up throwing. Knocked backwards after a gain of about 4.
I love the way the Central defense just continues to fight. You know, they're not allowing the circumstances to get them down. They're gang tackling. They're running to the football. They're playing hard. Their enthusiasm is contagious.
Well, like
Very well disciplined group.
Coach Callaway was a defensive coordinator before. He's the head coach here, and he motivates the players that he knows most about, and that's the defensive players.
They're mixing up pressure with base.
3rd down and 6, almost 7. Big play for the Eagles as they need to get the ball back. Throw underneath, scoot backwards and get tackled.
That's it. He's not running the right way, is he?
He is not running the right way. He was close to being first down yardage, and then he went backwards, and that didn't turn out very well for him.
He's trying to make a play.
That's Jaquan Graham, sophomore out of Albany, Georgia.
4th down. He's trying to make a play.
Yeah, instead of getting the 6 or 7 that he needed, he was looking to make 40 or 50.
That's it.
And that's instinct. That's your normal thing. You're looking to make plays. So you got to be careful again, as this is Mueller in punt formation. And again, our guy's 30 yards back. He's looking at a 45-yard punt, and there's a timeout going to have to be called by Clarke, as they didn't have enough men on the field.
I would think that you'd have to go for the block with 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
And one timeout.
Scoop and score. Go for the block, scoop and score.
Because
don't fall on it. Scoop and score.
I don't think we have any return yardage in this ball game at all. I don't think we've caught a punt and returned it any.
Charlie, we were talking about the kids from Florida and out of state, and in 75, all through 75 until I graduated, our summer practice, we slept in the gymnasium on the basketball floor with little mattresses for the entire time. And suitcases, and they'd be walking right out that door. and the funny thing about it is we didn't know how they got to Boonville because that's the only place where they could get a bus home.
Punt formation.
Bring it.
And Central does not have any return yardage at all. And he calls a fair catch on this one as he's backing up. So they got a long way to go. 70-plus yards for a touchdown to get the lead. I was over at Kemper Military School for a while, and we had Florida players coming in there, and it was 50 degrees, and they're looking for sweatshirts, sweatpants, heaters. And and when it first snowed, it was Christmas for them all over. Never seen it. They're out sliding on the sidewalk in the snow.
And they would come sight unseen.
Yeah,
they'd come sight unseen, just show up, and and you know, for us country boys, or you know, a stand full of Central stands was great for us. Well, they were playing in front of 10, 12, 15,000 people, and they looked at that and said, no, we're not going to, you know. And we did it with the good, hard-nosed kids.
Luna, out pattern. Incomplete call. Tried to get it. Quezada. Quezada trapped it. Clock stops. 1:54, I believe, is what is on the clock. Central is ahead in total yards in the game, 188 to 165, but they trail across the middle, just out of reach.
Right down the seam. Got inside leverage on the free safety.
Aaron Edwards.
That could have been a home run, Charlie.
It could have been it. Wide receiver out of Windermere, Florida, senior. So it makes it 3rd down and 10. And that's kind of what I've seen with Matt Luna at quarterback. The long balls, he just gets excited a little bit and puts about 2 yards too much into it. He's had some people open, and he's just gunned it a little bit too far. And that one's going to be up for grabs and out of bounds. No catch. Edwards again, the intended receiver. Now it's 4th down. And I don't think you have any choice here but to go for it on 4th and 10 because you're not going to get the ball back with one timeout.
This is the 3rd year of Clarke, I believe.
In the I think we played them maybe the first ball game that they played in the conference. And I looked at their website. It talks about being in the Kansas Collegiate Conference. So I don't know if they have dual affiliation for some extra sports or what. 4th and 10. Rush comes. Luna escapes a little bit, but he's going to be tackled. And unless they throw a flag for piling on, which they don't, the ball will go over to Clarke, and they can run it out. .141 to go. Central has one timeout. Tremendous defensive effort, but it may not be enough.
And nowadays you don't see a real great defensive effort on both sides.
No, if you see a score of 3-0, you're thinking, boy, they must have played in lousy weather.
I looked at all the high school scores on Saturday morning, and you're seeing 50, 60, sometimes 70 points scored. Everyone's running the West Coast. They're throwing it around, getting into space. So sometimes that's refreshing to see a 3-0 game.
Running play up the middle, gets a couple. I'm an old baseball guy, and I argue with people all the time that say a 1-0 game in baseball is dull. It is not. Any one mistake changes that whole ball game. One bad hop, one bad throw. It's exciting because every pitch matters. When it's 9-0, the pitch doesn't matter. You got a lot of space. 3-0 game, you don't have any room for error. Clarke's turned it over, but their defense has stood up to the test. Their offense has done just enough. They got a turnover, interception, and turned it into 3 points. Central gets a fumble and can't turn it into points.
Great pursuit by the inside linebacker on the stretch.
45 seconds and counting. It's 3rd down, and I guess Central's going to wait for, after this play, to use their timeout because the scoreboard still shows 1, but there's only going to be like 4 seconds, and now they call a timeout. Well, I think it was 46 when I looked at it, and now it's 30. So 16 seconds went off while they were deciding to use their final timeout. But, Steve, it's been a pleasure to have you in here. And
I have enjoyed it thoroughly. I really have.
We had Brad Hunter in here before. He was a kicker, and he said, "For all of if you ever get an invitation to do this, please do.
Absolutely.
You'll have a blast."
I said the same thing a little bit ago, and it's a great experience, and the pay is well.
Yeah.
The pay is just
the sack lunch really did it for you.
The sack lunch, and again, to all those Central alum that are watching this stream, and I know they share my same sentiments about how much Central means to all of us, and wouldn't change it for the world. And it's always nice to hear how they're doing, what they're doing. See them at homecoming, see them on Facebook, about their family, what they're doing.
Well, I didn't tell you earlier as the game is about to end, we have over 2,500 people watching. I don't tell that early.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not kidding you. We've had 2,571 check in on the game today. So if I'd have told you that earlier, you might have gotten nervous. But
no. Well, to those 2,500, God bless you all. Continue to support Central Methodist academically, athletically. Show your support by coming and visiting. I will tell you that the fundraiser that the Central Methodist has in Puckett Fieldhouse every year is just incredible.
The athletic auction.
The athletic auction, $90,000.
Yes.
And to those who don't know, I'm just really pleased that Jeff Sherman's been hired.
Elevated.
He's a Central Methodist guy.
He bleeds green.
He bleeds green.
He's never been anywhere but here.
Absolutely, and let's throw our support behind him. And we know he's going to do a good job. He's family. We're all family, and things are going well here. And this whole experience for me has just been wonderful. But again, to all the Central alumni that are listening, watching, continue to support our programs. And I'll tell Doc that you said hi.
Please do.
Again, he turns 90 on Monday.
And again, you can see that the way the Central community feels about your dad from the golf tournament, never have to ask for somebody to come play in it. They're always there to sign up to play. And your dad was a pretty good golfer in his time.
As he aged, and one of the things that was most difficult for Dad was to give up golf. It absolutely just, that was his pastime. He belonged to the country club, and I can tell you stories, Charlie, of the Fayette Golf Club with the sand greens and the sand greens and all of Mitch Cochran and James Clapworthy and Dude McMillan and Junior McMillan and all those guys coming out there and playing, and it was just such a great experience.
Yeah, when you said your dad was having a hard time giving up golf, I thought immediately of Mitch Cochran, who played it sort of like it was polo at the end. Roll up in his cart, take one foot on the ground and hit it, and get back in the cart and go.
And there would be, there would be 6, 7 carts. There would be 12, 14 people, and the money was being bet quite frequently.
Yeah, if you got behind them, it was really slow play because everything changed with every stroke.
So, it's here again. I'm just, I'll continue to be a small town country boy, and growing up in Fayette was a wonderful experience, and all my teachers and coaches and just means so much. And again, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. And I'm going to get on my soapbox one more time. I do this every ball game. Central needs to name something after your mother and father. We need to have the Libby and James Lujan something here, whether it's the field, whether it's the basketball court. That's going to go Jeff Sherman way somewhere down the line. But there's something here that needs to be named after your parents.
Well, I think that a couple things is he's really touched and influenced a whole lot of lives, and I think there'll be a lot of people that will say that. And he made an investment with his heart and with his work towards this school as a whole, for facilities and people, and so if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't,
it's a shame.
It'll be something. But whenever I go talk to him, the first thing comes up. You know who I saw? Or he'll say, someone called me. Frank McKenzie called me. And we'll talk about old experiences, and he was acting dean for 1 year, and that was a good experience for him. So I appreciate those words, and I will pass that on to him. And
Please
thank you again for the experience.
It's been great. Appreciate it. Central Falls 3-0 in a game that a lot of people will look at and say not much went on there, and they'd be wrong because there was stuff going on here the whole time. But that will do it. Central Falls to 0-3 on the season. Clarke goes to 2-1. Steve Lujan has been the honored guest here today to help in, and he did a great job. Appreciate him coming in to do that because he's got Friday night football that he's helping coach. He is helping his son-in-law. And I don't know of too many father-in-law, son-in-law type deals that get along that well that would take that. I'm not sure I could do much with my father-in-law, but Steve is doing it with his son-in-law, so greatly appreciate him coming in to do it. We'll be back here in 2 weeks when Culver Stockton comes to town, and Eric Trells will be the guest announcer for that, a recent inductee into the Hairston Hall of Fame. So from Davis Field in Fayette, this is Charlie Brown saying thanks for tuning in today, and we'll be back here in 2 weeks for a game with Culver. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching the Eagle Sports Network.